See? It's not that bad. You can die and lose all your stuff and get it back pretty quick. No biggie. No need to rage quit. Alright everybody, welcome back to another episode of Survival Minecraft. My name is Cloudfeet. Today we are doing much in the same as what we were doing the last episode. Just running around the nether trying to find as much quartz as we can so we can get our ender pearl farm completed. Dying like we did right at the end of last episode really got me thinking about ways that we can mitigate risk here in the nether so that we can A, avoid dying, and B, when we do die, we can actually recover our gear. So first thing on the list is to make sure that you only have the items in your inventory that you absolutely need. You might even consider wearing some trash armor just in case you die and you lose it all. I prefer to wear the best armor I have because why have it and why work for it if you're not going to use it? So another thing you may consider doing is keeping a potion of fire resistance on your hotbar at all times, because little pockets of lava just like this one can pop up seemingly out of nowhere and you can fall into them and die. And dying's not fun. Not fun. But if you do die, you want to make sure that your debug info is displayed like mine is so that you can see your coordinates and where you died. That way you can come back and recover your gear. And of course, because I am an absolute idiot, I was talking about the coordinates and the debug info that are currently turned off. Now to turn those on, you just go into options, chat settings, and you say reduced debug info off. I don't know if that's a part of Optifine or not, but if you're having that problem, that's where that is. And of course, there are quite a few other things you can do, but those are the main ones that I try and remember to do. What are some things that you do to try and mitigate risk in the nether? Ooh. Let me know in the comments down below. All right, I made it back from the nether. Now, I think since we have been spending a whole lot of time working on that Enderman farm and a whole lot of time gathering up quartz, I think it's time for us to pause on that project so that I don't get super bored and I still want to play this game. So what we're going to work on now is a sugarcane farm that runs across the top of these two farms. Now it also might come around this corner and then we've got to figure out something to kind of fill in this area, but I haven't decided quite what is going over there yet. So for now, sugarcane farm. If you've been watching this series from the beginning, you'll recognize this place. This was our starter base where we were farming sugarcane in order to trade the paper with librarians that we had over there. Now, since we don't need it anymore, I'm gonna take all the resources from this and move the sugarcane farm down below. Alright, now that we've got all that torn down, I'm going to go ahead and get started building the sugarcane farm that's going to go up here. I'm going to use a very similar design to what we had up top. It's just going to be one-sided and run along the top of this wall. So the basic design is starting to come together. You can see I have a rail, so a minecart can go underneath the sand, and this is where, along the top of the sand is where the sugarcane is going to go. Once it grows up and activates that observer, then the observer will trigger the piston that's directly below it, and that will knock the sugarcane down. Now I'll probably wire up all the pistons to basically all of the observers, so every time one of the observers is triggered, it triggers a whole line of pistons. It won't reach the whole way, but I think you get the basic premise. So now I gotta put water in the back of, let's see if I can make it. Haha. I've got to waterlog these stairs right here so that the sugar cane can go on top here. And then I also have to wire up the back of these pistons. So I'm gonna get started on that. Okay, so we got all the redstone put in and it is all wired up and this thing should be functional now. Now all we need to do is get the front. Let's go check that out. Boom. Gotta get the front looking a little bit nicer, kind of close it in, put the glass in and throw the sugarcane down and this thing should be working. And working it is. You can see that we use some blast furnaces to kind of give it an edge there, along with some spruce trap doors. We've got lighting hidden behind these trap doors in the pillars, and then I also put some buttons down up here to stop any spawns. The other thing we had to do was to, let me see if we can see it right here, because I think it's back here. Yeah. So we hooked these hoppers into the water stream that carries the potatoes and carrots back towards the sorting system. So now this whole thing is sufficiently sorting everything we needed to sort. So this whole sugarcane farm is now hooked in, and then it all comes into the bulk item storage right here. Ladies and gentlemen, now that we're done with that project, we can finally bite into something that's a little bit more exciting. While we were working on that sugarcane farm, 1.18 came out. So I think what we're gonna do is pause here and go ahead and update to 1.18, kind of poke our heads around and see what changes in this world. So we downloaded 1.18, I re-downloaded Optifine for 1.18, reinstalled the Fabric mod for 1.18, no replay mod yet, and I did not trim any of the chunks. I've already made a backup, so here we go. Well, game crashed. Beautiful. Okay, I guess we try again. Same thing. Well, maybe let's try just vanilla 1.18 and see what happens. Okay. Looking good so far. Woo! Without Optifine, we are riding that struggle bus. Let's go check out the room underneath everything and see if the bedrock's been replaced. All right, cool. So we have deep slate replacing all the bedrock under here. So it looks like everything went pretty smooth. We should check out the rest of our farms and just make sure everything's still working. All right, so I got Optifine working, and I also downloaded a new version of Vanilla Tweaks. So I just wanted to show, that's a resource pack, by the way, if anybody's not aware of what Vanilla Tweaks is. But I downloaded a new version of Vanilla Tweaks. This is not it. This is default Minecraft. So I just wanted to kind of look around here, and then we will reload Vanilla Tweaks and we'll look at some of the cool changes. All right, so one of the cool changes that Vanilla Tweaks added was this clearer water. I really love how it adds a lot of depth to this room. This is one of my favorite rooms in the entire build. I could hang out in here all day. It also adds wavy leaves. I don't know how I feel about them inside. But they definitely look cool outside. I think it really adds a lot to the trees. Also, you have these bushy leaves, which just makes them look much, much, much better in my opinion. There's quite a few other changes. The unobtrusive enchantments on the tools, the unobtrusive rain where it lightens up the rain a little bit. Few little things like this on levers. Right? So that is deactivated, that is activated. I didn't even know this was in Vanilla Tweaks. I guess when I first downloaded it, I clicked this, but I didn't remember doing it. So when I went ahead and made lodestones for the very first time, I realized like, oh, it's got cardinal directions. That'll be cool in this room. I thought that was just a part of vanilla, but apparently not. Okay, so the biggest change obviously in 1.18 is that we got the bottom of the world goes lower, right? It now goes down to y equals -64. So let's go down there. So now we have all this deep slate down here instead of the bedrock that we had before, and we can go straight down. So a couple of the things I wanted to add that I thought would be really cool. One, we have an issue with all these slimes spawning, right? So one of the things I thought would be cool is in these 2, I think 3 slime chunks, if we went in and made slime farms down there underneath, these slimes would spawn down there instead of up here, and we wouldn't have slimes spawn it all in our base. Good idea? Bad idea? I think great idea. Right now, what I think I want to work on is finishing up this wall right here. Now, a couple of things to think about here. So this honey farm, the bees inside here keep dying. I don't know why they keep dying. I don't know what's going on with this design, but they keep dying. I've re-put bees back in here several times. So what I want to do, I think we're going to tear this whole thing out. We'll leave these doors here, and then we'll still have access there. I think this will be the side access actually going into the farm. And that means from up here, we will have all of this space moving over to put in a new honey farm. And it can also go up vertically and then also down underneath. So we'll have a ton of space for bees, right? And then we'll have both of these 2 doors to access the inside of the farm. All right, so first things first, out with the old and in with the new. We got to tear all this out. All right, so we got all that torn out, and it leaves us with quite a bit of space here. But the library and like little holding area, we can just call that a library. I mean, we could. I didn't, but we could. Is definitely in the way. I'm gonna have to hit the drawing board and kind of figure out, like, I do want to move this, but what is the best order in which to move it, right? Because we had talked about doing like a lower level and an upper level, and then maybe having this whole area right here be where we put our bee farm. I'm gonna think about it. I'm gonna get to work on it, and I'm gonna show you what I come up with. In the interim, just a little admin note. I had to get rid of the wavy leaves and the clear water. If you'll notice, let's walk right back in here into my storage room with 1.18 and that Vanilla Tweaks texture pack. Every time I came in here, it was killing my frames. And you can tell they're getting a little choppy back here, but not quite as bad, right? So all of the cool things I showed you earlier in this video, they're all gone. But that's okay. No worries. We're still playing Minecraft, so it's a good day. Okay, made a little bit more progress here, and I think everything is kind of starting to shape up. One thing I am going to do is remove all these guys and start putting in, I think birch trees would be more appropriate. You can see the basic design that I'm going to go with. I'm going to put glass in here so we have these big viewing areas of our bee farm. So we walk through here and we can see all the bees going after these azalea bushes. And then I'm gonna build basically what are fake looking birch trees right back in this space, and then attach the beehives to those birch trees, right? I've got lights underneath moss carpets right here to kind of light the area up, and I'm going to put some lanterns in the top there too. The other thing I wanted to show you, so the way we are going about getting bees, if you've never had to like farm or had to try and get bees intentionally, so you can wander around for ages and ages and ages to try and get bees, or the other thing that you can do is place a row of flowers like this and grow birch trees next to them, right? And you see, I just started doing it and I ran out of bone meal and went downstairs to grab some more. And I've already gotten 2 beehives, which is pretty lucky. So I'll keep working and I'll show you guys what I get done here in a second. Hey, it's Christmas. Merry Christmas, everybody. Or if you don't celebrate Christmas, happy holidays. Or if you don't celebrate anything, then I hope you have a good day. So let me show you what I've been working on over here. So we have gotten these bees nests put in, and I think it's looking quite a bit better than it looked when it just looked like it did on this side. So let me show you some of the internal workings. It's got a cool little area over here. This is going to be to fill up our shears So this bee's nest right here is actually going to be the one where we get honeycomb. And the way it works is it's just a series of observers. Let me see if I can show you these real quick. It's a series of observers that observe the bees going in and out. So every time the bees go in and out and this block updates, it will also shear this block with this dispenser. And there's a little bit of redstone back there. So pretty simple. The same thing is going to happen over here. And also, if you'll notice, I have hoppers all the way around in case it doesn't, the honeycomb doesn't drop straight in or the honey bottle doesn't drop straight in. So same thing over here, except for this is going to be filled with glass bottles. And I know what you're thinking is that, hey, that's going to waste a lot of bottles, right? But what I'm going to do is create a system underneath that is going to help recycle those empty glass bottles. Now, ignore everything that's here right now because I'm tearing it all out. But I'm going to fix this and I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, cool. So we got all that fixed. Basically how this works when the honey bottle comes out, it's going to hit one of these hoppers right here. And so I put an item filter right here. This item filter, where is it? Is going to filter out the honey bottles, which will then go down over and get shot out right here and go into our storage system. All the other bottles will keep on moving and hit this this dropper, which will shoot them back up into the system. So we'll keep all the empty bottles in the system, and we will put all of the honey bottles into the storage system. So really, we just got to keep feeding this with bottles, but I figure, I mean, I put a ton of bottles in there, so by the time we run out of bottles here, we'll probably not really have a need for more honey. So, I mean, we should be good. Okay, so we made a few adjustments to the azalea bushes, and I removed these flowering azalea leaves just because it was messing with the pathfinding of the bees a little bit, and so now all three of these little modules are working. Next thing we are going to start working on, I'm going to wrap this like theme around this corner and build a facade right here. And I think behind it we'll start working on building a better library than this little area. So I'm going to get to work on that. Okay, cool. So we got the facade to what will eventually be the library put up. Pretty simple, and it follows the same kind of style as the rest of the room, but I think it's looking nice. We're gonna have obviously 2 windows and then this one big door going into it, and I think the library is probably gonna be 1 or 2 stories back in there. So it's looking good so far, and it really is starting to tie the room together. Next thing we're gonna work on is getting a ceiling put in here, and then once that's done, this whole room, which I mean has taken a year, some change to complete, is gonna be looking real nice. Okay, so I just finished gathering up some ice, some packed ice, and some blue ice. And my question for you all is, what do you think is faster, like swimming around and finding all these blue ice patches, or just mass gathering a bunch of packed ice and turning it into blue ice? I feel like I did a little bit of both, but I'm not 100% sure which is faster. Either way, it's time for us to go gather up some wood, and then we can get started on that ceiling. All right, so we got some spruce wood. I filled up this whole shulker box with it, and I want to pose kind of a similar question to the one I asked earlier. So I came over here back to the island, and I have been planting spruce trees in a line like so and growing them with bone meal. Now, I had originally gone over to a spruce, a taiga biome, and I had been just chopping down spruce trees, and it just seemed a lot grindier than what this is. So my question is, what do you think takes longer? What do you think is harder to do? Just putting them in a row like this and chopping them down, or chopping down all the natural ones? Let me know what you think. Look at all that scaffolding. Goodness gracious. So I've already finished the ceiling, but I haven't gotten to like look at it because all this stuff's in the way, but I wanted to show you real quick what it looked like before I tore it all down. So I'm gonna tear it all down, and then we will get our first look at the ceiling together. All right, so this is the last of the scaffolding. Now, I haven't looked up at the ceiling yet. I've been running around like this, knocking down all the scaffolding and picking stuff up. But I think we're gonna make sure we got all the scaffolding picked up, and then we will see this for the first time together, right? Hit this last little bit. Where's the best angle gonna be from? Probably over here, the most dramatic. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna hate it or if I'm gonna love it. And I've got some other ideas, but I don't know, we'll see. Okay. Oh, I think it's cool. I think it's really cool. I think it's really cool. Ah, I missed a bunch of scaffolding. I think it's really cool. It's staying up there. It's staying. Wow, that looks great. Why ice, you say? I don't know. I thought ice would be cool. I thought ice would be a whole lot of fun. I thought, well, okay. So I thought like a light blue color, so it would look like, kind of open it up and kind of look like the sky. And give you, without being like on the nose with like pixel art of the sky, you know, just showing, hinting that like, oh, this is like representative of the sky, right? I think it looks great. So a couple of things, right? So you see right here, this was one of my favorite parts, the banding that goes around the side. If you look at spruce stairs and then calcite, and then that's a dark oak stair and a spruce plank. And I thought that part looked slick. The part I wasn't so sure about was the ice part. But you can see we've got all three different types of ice: the blue ice, the packed ice, and then the regular ice. On top of the regular ice, there are white carpets. And then I can show you that here in a second too. I'll go up there. We'll knock this guy down and then cut to that. So this is what it looks like up here on the top. I just came through a little hole. Like that's the wall where the library is going to go behind that, right? So this is up on top of the ceiling that we just made. And you can see I just used white carpets with all the soul lanterns. Now I probably could have gotten away with like regular lanterns, right? But it might have melted the ice. I wasn't 100% sure, and you know, honestly, I didn't want to do the math, and I didn't think it really mattered. I just wanted it to not be super dark. I just wanted it to not be super dark. Let's see if I can pull this off in real time. Oh, so close. So close. Another thing I screwed up, which is going to be super fun to go back and fix, is I left all these trap doors open because that was the level at which I had all of the scaffolding. And so I left those open so I wouldn't fall through the holes. And lo and behold, I left all of them open. So I'm going to have to go around and close all those. That'll be a whole lot of fun. And then I'm going to have to figure that piece out as well. But ladies and gentlemen, I mean, we have had a very, very, very productive episode, and it only took 4 months to make or something. I don't know when the last time I put out an episode was, but you know, I work on it when I can. But last thing I wanted to show you before I let you go and ended this episode and put it on YouTube is it is February 1st, and that Christmas tree is still up. I'm sorry, I promise I'll take it down. Either way, that's going to be it for me. My name has been Cloudfeet, or I guess it still is. Yeah, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, good on you. Have a good one.